the Vought OS2U-1 and -3. The OS2U hydroplane was an American floatplane that was widely exported as a reconnaissance and rescue floatplane that could easily be launched by battleships, heavy cruisers, and light cruisers. The OS2U first took to the skies in 1938 by the United States Navy. The OS2U was retired 21 years later in 1959 by Cuba. The OS2U, being a reconnaissance and rescue plane, never sought combat except for anti-submarine patrols for the Australian Navy. There are 4 OS2Us on display in the world. One is on display on board the battleship North Carolina in Wilmington, North Carolina. Another is at the Stephen F. Udvar Hazy Center outside of Washington, D.C. Another is at the National Aviation Museum in Pensacola, Florida. The last one is on display at the Museo Nacional Aeronáutico y del Espacio in Santiago, Chile. The OS2U-1 and -3 has 2 7.62mm machine guns, 1 nose-mounted offensive machine gun, and 1 in a rear turret. The offensive machine gun has an ammo capacity of 500 rounds, and the defensive turret has an ammo capacity of 600 rounds. The OS2U-1 and -3 has a max speed of 289 km an hour and a max bomb load of 200 pounds. If you do use the OS2U-1 and -3 for air-to-air combat, then use the universal loadout for both offensive and defensive machine guns. The best way to use the OS2U-1 and -3 for ground targets is to use the tracer rounds for open-top vehicles, the universal loadout for any armored cars or light tanks, and to glide or dive bomb light tanks, armored cars, medium tanks, and some heavy tanks. The best way to use the OS2U-1 and -3 for naval targets is the tracer loadout for light patrol boats and light torpedo boats, and to dive bomb the magazines on destroyers and light cruisers, disabling or knocking them out entirely. The OS2U-1 and -3 were used by the Air Forces of Australia, Chile, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, the Netherlands, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Uruguay. The last OS2U-1 and -3 were used by Cuba until 1959.